हाय। आज हम लोग सीखने वाले हैं वेक्टर्स के बारे में इन फिजिक्स। सो व्हाट आर वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज एक्चुअली। तो वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, लेट्स गेट डाउन टू इट। वेक्टर क्वांटिटी एक ऐसी क्वांटिटी है जिसके पास मैग्नीट्यूड है, जिसके पास डायरेक्शन है एंड जिसके पास नहीं बट वेक्टर्स एक्चुअली ओबे द लॉ ऑफ वेक्टर मैथ्स। वेक्टर मैथमेटिक्स। सो वेक्टर्स, वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज के पास एक मैग्नीट्यूड होता है, उनका एक स्पेसिफिक डायरेक्शन होता है एंड दे ओबे द लॉ ऑफ वेक्टर मैथमेटिक्स। सो ये बात हमने प्रीवियस क्लास 10 में भी शायद पढ़ी होगी बहुत लोगों ने, लेकिन ये वेक्टर मैथ्स बहुत अननोन होता है। सो वेक्टर मैथ्स एक्चुअली एक स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ मैथमेटिक्स है जिसको हम लोग बस वेक्टर्स पे ऑपरेट करने के लिए लगाते हैं। सो हम लोग स्केलर मैथमेटिक्स यहाँ पे अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर दोनों वेक्टर्स को ऐड कर रहा है तो we cannot apply the rules which we used to add scalars. For example, अगर मुझे velocities add करनी है and the direction of those velocities are different, say एक वेक्टर है 10 meters per second पे इस डायरेक्शन पे and एक वेक्टर है 20 meters per second पे इस डायरेक्शन पे, so I cannot add them like 10 plus 20. I cannot do this. This is scalar mathematics. I'm adding magnitudes. This does not make any sense because उनके directions अलग है. I need to apply vector math to add and solve this problem. So we will slowly and gradually learn the laws of vector mathematics. So for now, let's constrain ourselves just to this point. So first we need to know how a vector is kind of different from a scalar. So अगर देखें एक scalar quantity, a scalar quantity only has a magnitude. It does not have a direction. So it has only magnitude. और स्केलर्स को ऐड करने के लिए उसके लिए हम लोग के पास स्केलर मैथमेटिक्स है जो कि बहुत सिंपल है और हम लोग क्लास 10 तक हम लोग वही पढ़ते हुए आए हैं, पर अब हम लोग वेक्टर मैथ सीखने वाले हैं। So let's learn how to denote a vector, and also let's establish certain prerequisites for learning this chapter. So vectors के examples, जो common examples जिससे मैं explain करने वाला हूँ, that would be like velocity. Velocity is a vector, right? Then force is a vector, acceleration is a vector. So we can take these examples for explanation purposes, and for scalars, like say we have mass. Mass is a scalar quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity. So there are multiple scalar quantities, and we can take whichever we want just for explanatory purposes. So let's establish a certain relation. तो अभी जो हम लोग ये एम्फेसिस कर रहे हैं कि ये नई चीज है कि डायरेक्शन. So how does a vector make it different from scalar in reality? So for now हम लोग directions को geographic direction से अभी denote करेंगे, which means for now we will apply geographic directions for denoting all our vectors, for assigning directions to our vectors. So say I'm saying the velocity. अगर मुझे किसी की velocity लिखता हूँ तो I would say like 5 meters per second, ये होगी इसकी magnitude, and then I write its direction east. But if I write somebody's speed, say speed, I'm denoting it by s, say 5 meters per second. मुझे इससे कोई परवाह नहीं कि वो कौन से डायरेक्शन में जा रहा है. आई वुड ओनली केयर अबाउट ओनली द मैग्नीट्यूड. सो यहाँ पे मैं डायरेक्शन को इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहा हूँ, यहाँ पे मैं डायरेक्शन को इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दे रहा. सो फॉर नाउ हम लोग कार्डिनल डायरेक्शंस यूज कर रहे हैं, जियोग्राफिक डायरेक्शंस यूज कर रहे हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट द वे वी employ directions in physics. We have much more better methods for employing directions in physics, but for sake of simplicity we will be using geographic directions for now. So let's see how we can demonstrate or denote a vector on pen and paper. So say a vector is generally denoted in this manner: an arrow, and the name of the vector can be written alongside, say, a vector, and in most of the cases sometimes we need to solve things graphically, like in higher engineering studies there might be cases where you need to solve vectors graphically, and then the length would be a concern. But at the standard of 11th and 12th, the length is not much of a concern. But generally, more the length refers to much more the magnitude, and that concept is valid only when we are making providing a graphical solution to a vector diagram. But for now we can lay very less emphasis in that fact. So एक वेक्टर को डिनोट करने के लिए से ए वेक्टर कहना है, ए वेक्टर। सो ये से नॉर्थ ईस्ट डायरेक्शन में है, तो मैं ए उसके ऊपर एक वेक्टर का एक एरो सिंबल दूंगा, दिस डिनोट्स दैट दिस क्वांटिटी इज अ वेक्टर। सो मैं फॉर एग्जांपल ये एक फोर्स है, तो आई विल राइट 5 न्यूटन्स एंड देन आई विल राइट द डायरेक्शन नॉर्थ ईस्ट। सो ये हो गई एक वेक्टर। दिस टिप ऑफ द एरो, ये एरो की टिप को हम लोग हेड बुलाते हैं, और ये एरो की टेल, दिस विल बी टेल। एंड ये डिनोशन हम लोग पहले से कर दे रहे हैं क्योंकि बाद में वेक्टर लॉज सीखते वक्त हम लोग इसको एम्प्लॉय करेंगे सीखने में। अच्छा, अगर मुझे किसी वेक्टर की सिर्फ मैग्नीट्यूड से कंसर्न है, सो व्हाट कैन आई डू टू एक्सट्रैक्ट द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ अ वेक्टर? सो मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ अ वेक्टर वुड बी denoted by mod of that vector. So this would turn out to be 5 newtons. So now I have eradicated the direction part. अभी मेरे पास वेक्टर की सिर्फ मैग्नीट्यूड है। Okay, so now how can I convert this thing back to a vector? So I can convert this back to a vector with the help of a unit vector. Uh, well, what is a unit vector? So we will come back to a unit vector after we have discussed the various types of vectors. But for now, let's just remember that we can extract the magnitude by using this mod operator. Okay, what are some special properties of vectors? Just in case if the physical quantity is free, right? अगर हम लोग उसको pick and place कर सकते हैं, say अगर वो position से independent है, so we can parallelly pick and place vectors and they would still remain the same vector. This would still remain a vector as long as I am not affecting its magnitude and direction. So I can parallelly pick and place these vectors. But if I change the direction, say if I keep it of same magnitude, and say the magnitude of this vector is same as the magnitude of say अगर ये भी 5 न्यूटन का magnitude का है पर इसकी direction अलग है, so say this is b vector, so I have to say that a vector is not equal to b vector. So we'll come to the equality of vectors a bit later, but this is the fact that if I change the direction, so these vectors are different regardless the fact that they have the same magnitude. So let's move on to the various types of vectors we have. Okay, so अब हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं कि वेक्टर्स कितने टाइप्स के होते हैं. So let's first discuss equal vectors. So what are equal vectors? So say अगर दो वेक्टर ऐसे हैं जिनका मैग्नीट्यूड से a वेक्टर b वेक्टर सेम है. सी अगर इन दोनों का मैग्नीट्यूड सेम है, मतलब मॉड ऑफ a वेक्टर is equal to mod of b vector, and the direction of both these vectors are same. The direction of both इसका भी अगर नॉर्थ ईस्ट डायरेक्शन है और इसका भी नॉर्थ ईस्ट डायरेक्शन है, the direction is same, then a vector is equal to b vector. Now there are two conditions governing this. Number one, number two. In case any of these conditions fail, then they will be unequal vectors. Say अगर मेरे पास दो वेक्टर्स है, एक की मैग्नीट्यूड बड़ी है और एक की मैग्नीट्यूड छोटी है, so mod of a vector is not equal to mod of b vector. So पहली कंडीशन तो इनवैलिड होगी, hence a vector is not equal to b vector. So these are unequal vectors. Okay, so what if the direction is different but the magnitude is same? Even for that case, the vectors would still not be the same. So say there are two vectors, a vector, and there is another vector, say b vector. So see, even if the magnitude is same, even if the magnitude is same, but the directions are different. So due to this fact, the vectors are unequal. Okay, so what does direction strictly mean? So which means the directions pointing from tail to head must be same. So if I say that there are two vectors, a vector, and there is another vector, b vector. So the direction seems to be same, but it is just because of the fact that we are unable to interpret the right direction. This points to northeast and this points to southwest. Though both seem to be parallel and in same direction, they are not in same directions and these are unequal vectors. Even if they have same magnitude, they are unequal vectors because their directions do not match. So now we have got that what is equal vector and unequal vector. Okay, so let us continue towards parallel vectors. So what are parallel vectors? So if two vectors regardless of the magnitude have the same direction, then they are called as parallel vectors. Say this is vector A and this is vector B. Both point towards the northeast, but say its magnitude is different. Say mod of A vector is 3 newtons and mod of B vector is 5 newtons. So yes, their magnitudes are different, but these are still parallel vectors because the angle made by both these vectors happen to be 0. Both are pointing towards northeast. So these are parallel vectors. So what are anti-parallel vectors? You might hear about what are anti-parallel vectors. Well, it's basically that they look to be parallel, but they are not actually parallel vectors. Their directions are opposite. Their directions are not different, but their directions are actually opposite to each other. So if this is pointing towards northeast, this would be pointing towards southwest. These are anti-parallel vectors. So if we compare both these cases, so what we get that parallel vectors tend to have an angle between them denoted by theta. The angle between these vectors are denoted by theta. So the angle between two parallel vectors is obviously 0 degrees, but the angle between two anti-parallel vectors is 180 degree. And you would be asking that how I'm measuring the angle of two vectors. Well, generally the angle between two vectors are measured in such a way that we need to keep their tails joined. Like we need to pick and place. I had already told you that we can freely pick and place vectors as long as we are not changing their direction. So what we need to do, we need to pick and place and join their tails. Now this happens to be the angle of the vector between the vectors, right? So this angle can range up to like even up to like 180 degree. Like this can even go up to this. So it can go like max to max up to 180 degree. But if it ends up being an obtuse side, we would choose this to be the angle. So the range of theta can be like 0 to 180 degrees. So we won't go beyond that. So let's come to the next type of vector. So let's continue with co-linear vectors. So if there are two vectors which happen to be on the same line, like they have to be on the same line, say A vector and B vector, they are in the same line regardless of their magnitude. Like even B vector can be greater, the magnitudes might be different, but they have to be in same line. So in such case, these happen to be known as co-linear vectors. So in a way, collinear vectors are also parallel vectors, but they are not equal vectors. They are not necessarily equal vectors. Okay, so collinear vectors were quite like they were quite easy to understand. But now let's come to coplanar vectors. So if collinear means that the linearity, like they lie along the same line. So coplanar, that would also indicate that they lie on the same plane. So if there are two vectors and there's another vector v, so these vectors, in case they happen to be part of the same plane, they would always end up being a coplanar. So yes, they have to be a part of the same plane. So for this, let's try getting a 3D visualization that say that there's a plane. A plane is like a straight flat surface, right? In physics, a plane refers to a straight, very long flat surface. So now say that there are two vectors which are denoted like in red. So if this vector lies on this plane, and if there's another vector which also lies on this plane, then these two vectors will be termed as coplanar vectors. So for any two vector system, we could always say that a two vector system would always be coplanar. And how do we say that? Well, you see, you can, if I take two vectors in a 3D space, even in a 3D space, if I take two vectors, say this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and this is the z-axis, and say if I take one vector in this manner, a vector, and the other vector goes inside, like inside the plane, like b vector, so we could always join them. We could always join these, pick and place and join them, or you can extend this and join them to a center. This is just an imaginary extension. We are not altering the nature of the vector. So now you can always generate a plane which sweeps the vector a to vector b. So a plane generating this region, sweeping this entire region, can be created. Hence, two vector system would always be coplanar. However, this thing is not true for a three vector system. For a three vector system, there might be the condition that the third vector does not fall in the same plane as the other two vectors. So for a two vector system, they are always coplanar. Okay, so the last two vectors which we will come across are very important, and they are zero vectors and zero vectors and unit vectors. So what are zero vectors? So for a zero vector, technically the magnitude is zero. So magnitude is zero, and since its magnitude is zero, its direction is not defined. The direction is not well defined. So this is the case of a zero vector. So like you can there's absolutely, like, there's not much application as of now in the standard 11th regarding zero vectors as of now. So we would not discuss this much further, but this is just for the knowledge purpose, that you should know that the magnitude is zero and the direction is not well defined. So obviously a zero vector cannot be demonstrated with an arrow, because the magnitude itself is zero. So like it's just like a dot, and for a dot you cannot have like a well defined direction, which is just like a point. So this is the topic about zero vectors. And unit vectors. Unit vectors are quite amazing because first of all, their magnitude is 1, but they do have a well defined direction. A unit vector has its magnitude is equal to 1, and it has a well defined direction. Well defined direction. So say, why are we studying unit vectors so differently? So unit vectors have a specialty because we can use unit vectors to convert scalars into vectors. Now you would wonder why and how are we doing this? So for example, you go through very complex calculations and derive the value of a force. But now you need to that force is still a scalar because it's just a mathematical formula or a mathematical number. So you end up finding the value of all sorts of calculations, and you end up finding the value to be 20 Newton. So you have just found out the magnitude of the vector. You haven't found out the direction, so it's technically not a force vector as of yet. So what you need to do, say if you know that the vector is in the northeast direction, so you can multiply it with the vector, with the unit vector which is in the northeast direction, and you can get the result as the force vector which you desire to get. So say if the unit vectors are generally denoted in this format. Say you have a unit vector c. So a unit vector c is not can be referred like, you can also place an arrow, but for unit vectors we specially use like c and a cap over it. So this is denoted by c cap. So whenever I say c cap, it means it's a unit vector, so the magnitude is 1. So what a unit vector is generally used in? Generally converting scalars into vectors, and hence it has the capability to convert a scalar into a vector and hence provide a well-defined direction. And why is it able to do it? Why doesn't it destroy the like the entity of the actual force vector or whatever thing we are trying to convert into a vector? Well, because its magnitude is 1, and so since its magnitude is 1, you can obviously use this to convert it into a new vector. So basically the scalar can get converted if I add a c cap. So this c cap would get expanded into a vectorical expression determining the direction of the vector. So now say the f vector is equal to 20 Newton c cap. So if c cap was a 1 unit vector in northeast direction, say this was a 1 unit vector, so now f vector would be similar to would be in the same direction, just in the northeast direction, but now this would be 20 units. And before placing this c cap, you couldn't have represented this 20 Newton on pen and paper like a vector, because it would still remain a scalar. It would not have any direction. As soon as you add this unit vector, you convert this scalar quantity into a vector. So what are we actually doing is that we are multiplying the magnitude of the unit vector by the scalar. So basically the scalar does not get converted into a vector, but instead the magnitude of the vector changes due to the scalar. So this property is known as the scalar multiplication of a vector, which involves multiplying a scalar with a vector. So we will discuss all these properties, much more properties about vectors, like vector addition, products in vectors, and also the multiplication properties like scalar multiplication, vector multiplication much later. So for now we can keep only up to this. So obviously if you like the video, hit like. If you disliked it, hit dislike. Write in the comment section about some more suggestions to improve this course. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.